I used to go to Aunt Liza's house all the time when I was growing up. It was just 2 streets over from my own home, but it felt like a whole different world. Bigger, warmer, cozier. And the food too: cookies, cakes, cream brulee, and ice cream on school nights, everything my parents couldn't afford or wouldn't allow. To me, my parents were no, and Aunt Liza was yes. I loved her more than I loved them because she gave me everything a child could want. As I got older, she became my escape. While my parents tried to keep me on a tight leash, Aunt Liza let me roam. I started stashing outfits at her house, things my parents would never let me wear. Kimpy skirts, tight tops. I'd stop by her place in the mornings, change clothes, and walk to school like I was someone else. I knew my parents argued with her constantly about it. Every time I got caught, I got grounded. But I didn't care. I wished she were my mom instead of my own mother. Aunt Liza slipped me cash on weekends, told me not to tell anyone, and gave me this sense of freedom, like I didn't have to rely on anyone, not even my parents, who never seemed to have enough. Then, when I turned 18, I moved in with her and I didn't look back. Not at my mother's quiet tears or my father's hurting eyes masked as anger. Living with Aunt Liza was no curfews, no questions, no judgment. I wore what I wanted, stayed out as late as I pleased, dated who I liked. She never reined me in, never said no, always bailed me from jail with a smile, saying, "You're only young once." And then she died suddenly. A vicious cancer that took her within a month of her finding out. She left a simple will that surprised me. It was written in big scrawling letters that showed how much pain she was in. Every damn thing to Lillian alone. Properly witnessed by the priest and a nurse at the hospital. It was while I was packing up her room that I found the other will. It was 2 sheets of paper she had crumpled up and tossed in the trash can by her bed. I took it out from mere curiosity and straightened out the old paper. Pages were streaked through with angry pen marks. No, never, I'll take it all. And I'll take her brat of a daughter too. It was Aunt Liza's handwriting. The will wasn't hers, it was my grandfather's. According to it, he had left everything to be shared between Aunt Liza and my mother: the house, money in the bank, and thousands of shares in solid companies. But my mother had never seen a cent of that inheritance. Ever. More digging and courthouse visits, and the putrid truth was revealed. Aunt Liza had forged a version of Grandpa's while cutting my mother out clean. Then she had seduced me and allowed me to live as I pleased, letting my immature self make terrible mistakes that would have been avoided by a simply "no, you may not" by a parent figure. She had turned me against my mother, stolen me from her with treats and freedom. She had destroyed my parents' happiness, just as she planned to do. And I had let her. I know I owe my parents an apology. I know it deep in the pit of my stomach, but what do I do about the house and the money? Do I give it to my mom? Should I expose Aunt Liza and put my mom through the sorrow of knowing just how evil she was, or do I let her continue to live in ignorance? What do I do? But how do I face them?